Do you know, there's no better time of year for me than autumn, because all of a sudden I walk outside, I feel that slight dip in temperature, and whatever sixth sense there is in this body starts tingling, and I've well and truly got perch fever. It's all I can think about. And of course, all through the year, perch is in the back of my mind, and something that I really use the autumn period for is going and searching out new places. You'll hear rumours about perch fishing if you're a perch angler, and usually the best ones to act on don't come from other perch anglers. They'll just come from pleasure anglers, your local tackle shop, a bloke you met in the pub. And certainly for me, over the last 5 or 6 years, all of the best fishing that I've found has been following up rumours. And I'm kind of doing that today as well. So we're going to talk about how to do that. How do you search out a venue once you've found somewhere that might be worth a go, it might not. The best way I've always found is go and find out for yourself before someone else beats you to it. So from a tactical standpoint, if I'm going to fish somewhere that I don't really know, one of the things I do like to do is come in the early part of the year, the water will be warmer, try and go on a mild day. That'll make a big difference to your results. And the other thing that you're doing, you're searching, literally. We'll talk about sort of how to approach different venues in terms of how to fish these lures, but you are looking at your sort of power fishing style. You're looking at shads that move a little bit of water, you know, whether that's a slick shad, Zander Pro, spiky shad, something like that. These kind of baits, you can take different sizes with you, because every time you turn up at a lake you're going to see different types of bait fish. Here already this morning we've seen a lot of fry in the side, so it might be that we need to fish a bit smaller than perhaps we'd like to cast a long way. You need to bring an assortment of jig heads. You might need to cast a long way. This is a big lake today, so we need to cover some water. We've also brought some lighter ones as well, because there are some nice spots in the side. I'm fishing in and around the weed. I don't want to get weeded up. So the other bait that's really important to bring, you don't know what the weed situation is going to be like, particularly on a still water or a clear river, and that's where your buoyant baits like your creatures are going to really help you out. You can fish them Carolina style or on a chub, and you know you're always fishing. Quite often on these recce trips, I'll walk into a swim like this and I don't really fancy it. The wind feels a bit cold in this bank, it's a bit shallow, it's a bit weedy, but I'm still going to fish it because I've got to write it off. I've got to sort of go home at the end of the day and think, no, I covered the water properly, you know, I wasn't going through the motions. I was trying my hardest to catch a fish in every peg that I went in. And if that means trying a few different lures in each swim, or just fanning, you know, at different areas on the clock face, you'll feel better when you get home knowing that you didn't leave any stone unturned. And quite often the swim that doesn't look very good can be the best one. You just never know on a lake like this. You've got no intel. You know, on this lake I've got a little bit of past knowledge from coming here before. I know a few lads who fished it this year, so I've got a bit of an idea of where the fish might be or what depth of water they might be, but fish swim around. That's why we have to stay mobile and try and find them. So even though this swim doesn't feel like the one today, I'm going to let the perch gods tell me that, because they know better than me. Whether you're on a lake, a river or a canal, there are lots of other things in this world that like fishing, including grebes, cormorants, even otters. And on a big lake like this, finding the bait fish is going to be important to finding the predators. And there's a couple of grebes diving down here, and the mother is getting some bait fish and feeding them to her young. So I'm not daft. I'm a fisherman just like the grebe is, so I'm going to cover this piece of water because there's definitely some bait fish about, and if the grebe are catching them, I reckon the perch stand a chance as well. fishy as anything. Just fishing it a bit more aggressively. It's bright orange in it, so there's no point trying to make it look like a real worm. Oh man, that got smashed like it was probably 4 foot off the bottom.
I wonder if like a shad on it, just on a fairly straight retrieve.
I think just a jig head now. You can go just straight jig head here, it's not that weedy.
Power fishing.
Chatterbait would do it, so just a annoy one. Oh man. As you know when you're holding it, it's going tap tap tap.
Yeah, classic.
It's had it as it's. I've like lifted it and then let it swing.
At least we're in the right area. First, like proper positive.
Oh, that was proper bite. Oh look. The only thing it might be is a small one. Yeah, one more chuck and then something that's going to scream at them a bit more. Going to get one about 6 inches. Yep. See that then?
Little tap on the end of the rod.
Got him. Yep. Net. Sorry, mate. That's just right. Yes. Not a monster, but it's a fish, mate. There we go. From a big old pit like this, mate, that is unreal. From a big old pit.
Oh, mate, yeah.
Didn't take long. Yes. I have broken my Fox Rage filming virginity. He took that while he was sat on the bottom. The joy of fishing with a buoyant bait. You can feel a tap like that. The fish that's aggressively come for it. And then just let it sit there after you felt the tap and let him come in and just muller it. It's a slightly better fish that. Get in there, Lester. Not a monster, but he's a bit thicker than his pal. Tell you what, he weeded himself up close in. I thought he was massive.
Added a few extra pounds.
Yeah, he just added the earth to his weight. So, something that's really important with perch, anywhere you're fishing, they're a shoal fish. I've just caught a fish, popped it straight back in the net. I've got to start fishing again. Because obviously, the fish of this size are not swimming around on their own. Hopefully they've got mama and papa with them as well. So I've just popped the fish in the net, dropped it back out. 2 casts later, we've got one 5 centimetres bigger than the last one. Happy days, keep going. So you can see by the little white tip that I've got here that I'm using one of these new TR drop shot master rods, and if you consider yourself a bit of a drop shot master, you're going to love this. Honestly, so sensitive, and that little painted tip is just allowing me to see the drop shot weight trickling along the gravel, And I have actually changed to the drop shot because I've caught 2 fish from exactly the same place. So I think whether they're shoaled up there is just a little take zone. But when I'm fishing the lure through it, I can't really keep it in front of them for long enough because of this wind. I'm having to actively move the bait away from the fish all the time. So I've swapped to a little slick finesse in the same colour as what I've had the bites on. And just about now, it is right in the zone. And I do find on lakes, canals, rivers, if you can find a few fish, having a rod set up, switch to the drop shot quickly, can just get you a couple of extra bites from a shoal where what you caught on initially is just not going to work again. Once you've caught those super active fish, the rest of the shoal, they're a little bit spooked, not quite sure of themselves, but they're obviously still around. You know, the perch don't swim around on their own. And I think this is the best way now to just quickly comb the area. A drop shot fished a couple of feet off the bottom because I've had takes on the drop, so I think the bites have come off the bottom. So now I'm literally dangling that bait right in the mush. Hopefully they're as hungry as me. So I've moved positions because this is a big old lake and we've got a decent wind, and to stay in contact with my bait without going overly heavy, which I don't want to do because it's weedy, I've moved positions so I'm aiming into this wind. Now it might mean that I have to swim, hop as the wind moves, but that's easy for me to do. It's very, you can get carried away on a lake like this, just stand in the same place and just fan it around. But I know when I cast that way, I'm not fishing, the wind's the wrong way, I've got a big bow in my line. If I fish this way, I've got the same thing. I've got to move, getting the right angle and being able, like I can feel this lure going down through the water, I can feel the weight when it hits the bottom. When I've got that crosswind, I can't feel anything. You know, some of these bites have been little cute little taps, and with that wind and that belly in the line, I'm just going to miss them. I don't want to miss them. You know, I might only get a few opportunities today. So regardless of where I'm fishing, you know, if I can get the wind straight behind me or the wind blowing at me, I can move position, you know, I can move around the lake. If I'm restricted by swims, the only way to counteract it is to go a little bit heavier or a little bit lighter with the braid, so you've still got that sensitivity. But yeah, you know, stay mobile and make sure that you're in contact with your bait. It's easy on a day like today where you've made thousands of casts, you've covered so much water, you might not have caught anything, to just get a bit lazy and think, oh, I'm going to cast down there. Like if I cast down here now, look, I've not chucked it very far, my line's like this, I don't know what's going on, it's not going to help me. So I'm better, if I want to fish down there, get on my toes, get down into the next peg and fish it directly into the wind. That will get you a few percentage towards catching a fish where otherwise you might miss it. They're still there, mate, they're still there. Funny on these lakes, you try all sorts of different things, you think you're being cute, but at the end of the day there'll just be one lure that works, and doesn't matter what you do, that's the lure that works, and today has been no exception. Another one, similar sort of stamp, bit bigger, beautiful. Found the trick, found the trick, they're back, they're back in the room. Move over, love. Look at that, 3 in the bed. Did you see him kite on me? Ooh. Proper kited on me, got me excited. Thought we might have had a 2-pounder. So that's really interesting. Where I caught a couple of fish from, it's gone quiet. I've moved positions because of the wind, and the grebes come back in to the area where I hooked the fish from. And literally within a minute of him being there, caught another fish. So I think the grebes are moving the bait fish around, which in turn is moving the perch around. And the bite on that fish again was, the lure's kind of got hit off the bottom. I've had a rattle, wound down to it, nothing there, left it, tap, 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 he's still there. Just give him a bit of slack line and wallop. Third fish in the bag from the same piece of water. We're just fishing it from a slightly different angle. But if it hadn't have been for the grebe coming back in, I think we'd have moved, and that would have been the wrong decision. So we're going to keep combing this area. It seems like bright orange is the colour today. We've tried all sorts of different things to try and get a bite, but that seems to be the one. That's just the way it is. Tomorrow you come up with an orange lure and you may as well cast it in the field. Perch fishing for you. I find if I use the rod, if I lift this rod this far, the lure's definitely coming off the bottom. You know, if I just turn the reel handle like this, I'm not really sure. Is it coming off the bottom? Is it going down low? I want to know. And I tend to find in the autumn that these fish will hit lures, shads, worms, creature baits, you know, stuff with flappy paddles on, chatterbaits, that sort of thing. They will hit them as they fall through the water. They actually prefer it. So sort of fishing with a straight rod and just reeling it, difficult when you're bank fishing. And I think it's just better when you've got a fast enough rod like this. This Prism Twitcher is perfect for the job because I can lift it, I'm in direct contact with it, I feel it back down, donk. I can wind up tight to it, give it a little drag, give it a little hop, give it another big jump, feel it down, donk. And these fish are coming as that bait's falling through the water, or they're meeting it just as it hits the bottom again. It's a great way to fish when you're trying to search out for fish like we are. Well, I can't complain at 3 fish from a big lake that I don't really know. It's a good start. We're coming into the best part of the day now. Let's pop these little gangsters back, try and find the mother. So I've brought 2 magic wands with me today. I like to do that when I'm searching out new venues. Sometimes I might bring more than a couple of rods, but if you've got a couple of rods, bring them with you. If you've got a mate, bring him with you as well, because the more water you can cover, the better. But I kind of take the same approach most places I fish. I'm going to fish with an active bait like a shad or something like that to search the swim. And for that I like this Prism. This is a really nice rod, it's really fast, it casts a mile even though it's like 6'11" rod. Really good, 14 grams, so it's good for all your perch needs. And I like this handle as well. I like that I've got my sort of finger on a piece of carbon, like I can stay in contact with my lure, really sensitive, I really like that. Got that paired up with the TR, of course, absolutely mint. It's so light, I can fish with it all day. I've made God knows how many casts a day, I can barely feel it. And I've got golfer's elbow because I can't stop playing golf as well as going fishing, so that says a lot. And then I've got the drop shot rod, and I'm going to use that for these finesse tactics like the drop shot, Ned rigging sometimes, but mainly the drop shot, to get that bait in the bite zone and keep it in there. And this is really just a sensitive, the tip's got a little bit of paint on it so I can see it against the skyline. It's just nice, and I really like the handle. I love this little keeper. You know, we move swims God knows how many times, and the drop shot weight bouncing around, it just does my head in. That stroke of genius, I love it. Again, paired up with a TR, Braid, as always, is sort of 0.08, 0.06. That's all you need really for perch. Nice fluorocarbon leader, and away you go. Done me proud today. I've caught fish on both rods. I'm going to try and catch a few more now. Which rod will it be though? Prism or the TR?
Vote now.
Yeah, vote now, subscribe, all that jazz. Tell us in the comments which rod would you pick. So we've covered quite a bit of water today, but probably only half the lake. To do this justice, I need to come back and do the other half of the lake. But in this swim, I've caught 3 fish earlier. So for the last sort of half hour of the day, when the light's dropping, such a good time for a perch. I've got to come back in the area where I've had the most action. So I'm back in here, hoping to get lucky again. Trying a few different methods and techniques, put some slightly bigger baits on to see if that'll trick them. If not, I'll go back to what worked before, because if it ain't broke, don't fix it. If you don't see me again, thanks for watching. Hope you learned something. Feel free to comment below. I am on YouTube, so I can come and answer you. And yeah, be lucky this autumn. It's better than being good, but it does help if you both.